Hello everyone. So thanks for tuning in. So in today's video, I'll actually teach you how to use custom code in FlutterFlow. Uh, there are a lot of questions in the community about their code not working. And most of the time, 90% of the time, the code is not working because they're doing something wrong, or they're pasting it in the wrong place, or just they're doing something wrong. So this video is actually will be a guide how you can actually copy and paste code, and what is the right place to paste it, and how you can paste it, how you're supposed to paste it, and where you can get the code, and where you can get the code, when you can get the code, how you can apply it in FlutterFlow. So let's begin. The custom code is over here. If you need to do a custom code or custom, it says custom functions, but those are custom functions, custom widgets, and custom actions. If you need to do it in your project, this is actually a great place to start. Watch this video, and then you should know everything about it. So this is the new IDE, and let me go a little bit through it. So first of all, custom functions. What are custom functions? And why, when they are used? So custom functions are something small. So if you have something that you just need to manipulate, so if you have a number or something like that that you need to add or subtract or something like that, you can use custom functions for that. Or if you have, and the custom functions, keep in mind, will always has to always return something. So if you want to have an output from what you are doing, then for sure you need a custom function. And custom functions are, if you have a data that needs to be, as I said, needs to be manipulated for some reason, then you need the custom functions. For example, if you're getting geolocation, like longitude and altitude, then you want to convert this to an address or something like that, you can use custom functions. But there is something very important with the custom functions that you need to know, and that is that custom functions, you cannot use packages. So custom functions, you cannot use packages. This is very important. And you cannot import things. So you cannot write import and then import wherever you want to. No, you cannot do this in custom functions. So if you write this import, and if I click save, I think it will just give me an error. Don't do that, because this is illegal. You should not do that. And the reason for that is that there are two comments over here. So, and it says modify code below this line. So don't modify the code. Don't modify the code above this line. So don't do it, because you will break FlutterFlow and you will break the coding. Don't do that. And also don't modify the code below this command as well, or below this line. So this is very important. Make sure you stick with those rules. You can also use OpenAI codecs, and you probably already know that, and you can test your functions. You cannot test your custom widgets or custom actions, but in custom widgets, you can actually see a preview of your custom widget. And of course, we have the return type. You already know that. I will not get into details of that. And you have the defined arguments. So let's tell me something else, which is, I think it's very important as well. A lot of people are actually using Chat GPT, which is great. As I said, like 90% of the time, probably to get you through what you want, especially if you want something simple. It will show you, or it can just try to fix your code errors. But keep in mind that most of the time, Not most of the time, but there will be some times that the ChatGPT will actually show you a code and this code will not work. And the reason for that is that ChatGPT has no limitations. What I mean by that is that if you write something like write me a code for this, but this code doesn't exist, it will just make things up. So I'm saying this because I'm using also ChatGPT for educational purposes to see what the limitations of ChatGPT are. And the reason for that I'm saying is that because I'm writing some things that probably are more complex, and ChatGPT is actually like make things up. And when I say why you're making things up, he's just saying, oh yeah, you're right, this cannot be done, this should be done in this way, and he's making up again something. So yeah, just keep in mind that sometimes ChatGPT will get some infinity loop and it will you not get the right code, never. So that's my experience with it if it's something complex. But in this case right here, I'm just asking the ChatGPT to write me a simple function. So keep in mind that in order to ask ChatGPT to write you a function, for example, let's say that write me, so just write that. So write me custom function in Dart that do that and that. So just write that and you get the function. So when you get the function, you can copy it. And then when you go over here, just a lot of people are doing this mistake. So when you go over here, you paste it like this. So keep in mind, if you paste it like this, this will not work. Why it's not working? Because you already have a function over here defined and you have another function over here defined. So this, as I said, this will not work. You cannot have two functions, of course, at the same place. So let me add a new function and let me say, so this is a brand new function and a lot of people are pasting the whole thing. Don't paste the whole thing because this will not work. If I save this function, it says that it's working. It doesn't say any error, but I mean, it's allowing you to save it, but no, this is wrong. So how you can actually fix this? Just keep in mind that every time ChatGPT or wherever you get your functions from, your custom functions, the first line should be actually the line that you need to build yourself with the custom function. This is very important. So let's begin with the name. So here in the white text will be the name of your function. So we need to copy this name and we need to put it over here. So we've copied this name, put it over here. And then we have what is the first part over here on the left side is what will the function return. So in this case, the ChatGPT is saying this, the function will have to return double. So we have to click over here and then say double. This is what the function said. This is what the function will return. So, and this right here is if the function will be knowable or no. ChatGPT is saying this function will not be knowable in our case, so we should remove the knowable. But to be honest, you should always be knowable. So not for the return, but for the arguments. But yeah, you don't need knowable, which means that you will never return knowable, which is fine, which is okay. And then we have here are the arguments. In this case, we have only one argument, but if we have more than one argument, it can be like this. So we can have like num1, this will be another argument, and comma and another argument, and so on and so forth. And with the green over here is the data type. So here the data type will be list, and the list of what? Of numbers. So let's click over here, and because we don't have a list of numbers, of course, this should be a list of integer or a list of doubles, because we are returning a double we should get a double in order to return a double because we're not converting over here. So we have to, as I said, we have the first line, we have to build it from the top side where we can write the function name, and the right side where you can write the return name and the define arguments. So in this case over here, this with the white cover, sorry, it's the numbers is the name of the argument. So numbers, oh, it's not writing there. Okay, so this one should be, okay, sometimes it's doing this. Okay, so this is numbers. So this is numbers, and we need a list of numbers. So you can see right now it's starting to look like the below code. And as I said, we don't have num here, so ChatGPT is lying again and it's just making things up. We don't have num, but we have list of doubles, for example, because as I said, we're returning a double. That's why we have a list of doubles. And we have numbers. And then if we want to add one more argument, and this will be an integer, we can have an integer, and num1 will be the integer, and this will not be a list, and this will be a nullable. So now you can see it's starting to look more and more like the code that we copy and paste. And when we are done with the first line, then we can simply delete this line because we don't need it anymore. Control X will actually delete it. And don't forget to delete this as well, because this is coming from the first line. So delete this as well. And there are a couple of things that we have to do before we click save. So the first thing is that here we need to do the no safety check. This is very important, and I recommend you to have no safeties. If you have if you have a string as an argument, we can have like, so if you have a string as an argument, let me show you. So this would be like name, for example. This would be a string. And if we have this as a string, we should only say name equals name, like that. So if we have a no name, we should get an empty string from that. So this is very important, because if we allow to have a no values from our arguments, the whole app will crash. So this is very important. If you have a list, I think any list, so if it's a number, a string, list of numbers, list of doubles, doesn't matter. We can have it like that. So numbers and then empty list. So we can have an empty list. And if we have an empty list and we have, for example, in our case here, we have a loop, it will not just go inside the loop. So this is fine as well. And then we have an integer. So we have num1. And if we have an integer, we can just say, okay, return me 0. So empty string is the default one for strings, empty list is the default one for list, and 0 is the default one for integers. So now that we are ready, let's delete the name because we don't need it. I'm just showing you how you can do it. Delete it over here. And now we are ready. So we have the numbers, we have the num. We don't need it actually, the num. This is also showing you how you can do it, how you can write, how you can add another one. And the only one that we need is actually the numbers. So we're getting the numbers. And now if I click save and click check for errors, I should be able, there should not be any errors. And this is how I end up doing it. I have some errors in this case. So it says a value of type double can be assigned to a variable of type int. Yes, so this is a good error actually, because we are returning a double. This is a very common error to have one type but return another type. So because this is actually, I think, returning a double, and this is So a value of type double can be assigned to a value of type integer. And this is on the line. You should check the line, and the line is 23, which is this line over here. But we can convert this because here we are saying this var, we can change it to double actually. So we can change it to double, and here we can say this will be a double as well, right? Because we have a list of doubles, so we should say that we are taking and expecting doubles everywhere, except a set of vars. So now we don't have any errors. Var is actually, when you write var, that means any type. So the code will actually assign a type for you. But I recommend you never to write var because var, as you saw just now, it can give you errors that you're not supposed to see. So always define your data type. If you're wondering what data types are available, just go to the return type, for example, and the types that you see over here are almost all the data types that are available. But the most ones that are used are integer, double, boolean, string, and probably JSON. And then if I go to test function, we should be able to test this function. Sorry about that. So if you write 5, this should return 10. Yes, 5 plus 5 should return 10. Oh, this is the average, right? The average. So let's say 10, and this should return 10, isn't it? 20. No, it's 23, it's 6, right? Yeah. So this is the average of the whole number. So it's 20 divided by 3. This is what we're getting. And this is everything that I want to say about custom functions. And then let's go to custom widgets and custom actions. So let's go to custom widgets and custom actions. So here, the custom widgets and custom actions are actually behaving the same way. So I will explain only for custom widgets, but everything that I will say for custom widgets will be legible as well for, you can apply it as well for custom actions. So custom widgets and custom actions, so let's begin with that. When I should use a custom widget. So custom widget is something that is visible on your page. So if I go to my page, everything here is a widget. So if I want something to be visible so people can click it or interact with it, then this will be a custom widget. So this is a custom widget. And what is a custom action? So custom action is, of course, is an action that a user will actually use something your app with. So for example, let's say that when a user click a button, or when it holds, or when it's shake, or whatever the action is of the user, you can use a custom action with it. So normally like 90% or 99% of the time, this would be like for a click of a button, for example, or a toggle switch or something like that. And this will actually fire an action, or in our case, it will fire a custom action. So firing a custom action, this is a custom actions, the difference between custom actions and custom widgets. And let's go with the custom widget or custom action, doesn't really matter. So let's go with the custom action, okay? And then the custom action, it's the new custom action that I just created. It will just go at the bottom of the list. So here we have different things than the custom function. This is the name, of course, of the custom function. And here on the right, the new things that we have is pub/doc dependencies. So pub/doc dependencies is something that we can actually take from pub/def from PubDev. And those are packages, those are like libraries that you can actually click, and you actually can copy, can actually take a code. So you can imagine that those are hundreds of lines that someone already wrote for us, and we can just copy this from over here. We can copy it, and we can say add dependency, and we can say let's add it over here like that. So now we added it, and then we can click this button in order to say to FlutterFlow that, okay, take this code and see what is inside this, and so we can use it. So this is new to custom. This is different, not new, but this is different from custom functions. In custom actions and custom widgets, you can use that. So this is very important. And then the second thing that when you actually use this, so let's you can go to installation, and when you use that, so when you copy and paste, this is the same. If you copy and paste it from here or from here, it doesn't really matter. But you can copy. You have to actually copy the import as well. So you have to copy the import like that and paste it over here. So so very important thing as well over here is that you cannot change the code from line 1 to 10. So keep that in mind. You cannot change this code, but keep also in mind that you can actually import. So in custom functions, you cannot import anything, but in custom code, in custom actions, in custom widgets, you can actually import packages. And not only import packages, but you can actually import source code of FlutterFlow, which is great. So if we go actually over here, for example, I'm here, I'm importing the source code of FlutterFlow, which is actually for storing files in Firebase, and also for uploading media, which FlutterFlow team wrote, and I can actually use this code and put it inside my custom widget or custom action. So let's say, for example, that let's go actually to this GitHub repo, which is the repo that I'm using, and it's my repo that I'm writing all the code that I wrote in my videos. You can actually go over here and take it from here for free. And then you can go to, for example, custom actions. And let's say, for example, that we need to actually take a custom action. But let's not take this one, because this one, it looks very, it's like 3 lines of code. I need some other action to actually be with more things inside, so I can actually show you what I mean. Okay, so you can use actually this custom actions. We can use actually this custom action in order to show you how you can do it. So if you have this custom action, you can see it's very, it's like, I don't know, like 100 lines of code. So what you can actually do is copy the whole thing. So you can actually copy the whole thing from over here and then go back to your code. And now you can actually set add action, and then this is what you see at first place. And then when you paste this over here, so how you can do this is that you have to paste the whole code over here. Don't, as I said, don't mess with the from first to 10 line. Just keep it like that, leave it like that. And then you can write more imports. So keep that in mind, that those imports over here, don't mess with them, but you can write other imports as well with the custom action and custom widgets. And because we have here imports, the Dart, also this is important, that the Dart imports are actually imported from the code Dart. They're not packages. So there's a difference between the Dart imports and the packages imports. So if we have a Dart imports, we don't have to add dependency over here. We only have to add dependency over here using packages. So in this example over here, I have a SVC package import. So if I go over here, add, and this is the package that is used. So I want to copy this over here. I have to copy this over here and then paste it over here and click this button over here. So if I have packages over here, just go to pubdev and search for the package name, which would be this. This will be, so it will be this, the package name that you need to search for, and then add it over here. So this is very important. And those here are actually source code from FlutterFlow. You don't have to do anything. It's already there. You have to import it. You just have to copy and paste it, sorry. And then here on the right side, the most important part is that if you have a build context, as we have over here, you should actually enable it. So if you see the first line of the custom widget or the custom action. So in this case, actually, the custom action is the only action, is the only custom code that has access to the build content. So if you see this build content over in this part over here, you have to enable it. So enable it over here. And then if you see, that code is imported from the source code right now, I don't know in the future, but right now you have to also exclude it from compilation. So what that means is that FlutterFlow will actually not check your code. It will check when you click run. So this is important. I'm saying this one more time. If you have code that is imported from FlutterFlow, in this case, you can see it that this code is imported from FlutterFlow because we have dot slash and then dot dash and then dot slash. And yeah, when you're done everything, don't add any arguments. This is important as well. Don't add any arguments like the custom functions. You don't need to do this, because the second thing that you need to do after you're done, so copy and paste this code over here, copy the packages like that I showed you, and then the third thing that you need to do is copy and paste the name of the custom action. And because this custom action, we already have this custom action with the same name, we already have it here. That's why it's complaining, because we have the same name. But let's keep, let's say 2, so we have a different names. And now watch what will happen when I click save. So when I click save, it will actually add my arguments automatically. So this is great actually. If you have more than one arguments, it will actually add all the arguments over here. So not only added all the added the arguments, but it's also adding the type of the argument. So this is very important to know, and this is this is the best way of using the custom widgets and the custom action. So this is the best way of doing it. So copy and paste the code, copy the package name and place it over here, and then make sure that this name is the same as this one, and then click save. And this will actually add your arguments on the right side. So when you're done with this, you can actually run the project. And because right now I have to click compile code, because first time when you do it, you still need to compile code. Even that you click this button over here, FlutterFlow will say, okay, let's compile it, and then just make sure, double check that there is no errors like written errors in your code. But if it's when it's done, you should be able to run your test mode. And there is a lot of people that are actually having problems with their code, and that it's not displaying the error it's just displaying a general error. So if you see this, I recommend you to exclude, just click exclude from compilation and then click on test mode, and then you actually get a better error. So keep that in mind, that when you click this button, exclude from compilation, and run the test mode, you actually get better errors than the one that are here inside inside the coder or inside the ED. And something else that I want to mention that is, I think it's important as well, is that right now you have this cloud which is not working. And then it says code analyzer is not running, reopen this page or restart it. So this is not true actually. If I go over here right now, I have defined Firestore, as you can see over here. I have defined it, and right now it's not saying anything about Firestore. It doesn't know what is Firestore. It's not auto-completing anything. So if I write Firestore, I have the Firestore, and then if I click dot, I should be able to see what are the methods that I can use with Firestore. But right now you're saying that, okay, but why, how you have a Firestore and you don't have, so this is auto-completing, right? People can say that, okay, this is auto-completing, but that's not true, because this is only auto-completing for wherever you have written. So this is like text. You can imagine that like a simple text. So if I write like this is a demo, for example, I'm not sure, but I should be able, yeah, you should be able to see the same thing. So it's just auto-completing the words that you have in your code. It's not the actual code that is completing it. So, and you can see in the meantime that I have the green button over here. The green button, it's so it's saying that I don't have any errors. So to fix this error, or to fix this issue that the cloud it's not working, or the auto completion is not working, just click over this button, hide settings. So when you click on hide settings, it will actually reload. You don't need to reload the page. You don't need to reload your code or open it again or something like that. Just click this hide settings and now wait for it. It will wait a couple of seconds and it should be able to get a working cloud, which means that you should be able to get, as you see right now, it says it's working. So it says code analyzer, it's up and running. And now you get a bunch of errors, which is totally fine. Those errors, the first errors that you see, this is strange, but the first error that you see are not actually legit errors. And now you can see that they are gone. And keep in mind that you have to wait a little bit. So when you click this, when you see this button over here that it's like that, you have to wait like 10 seconds or something like that before the actual analyzer kick in. So when I cover, when the errors are gone, just wait 5 more seconds. And when you hover, you can see right now that it says this is Firebase Firestore. And now everything should work, because if I go over here, I'm seeing what are the data types. The data types with the green, and this is collection reference. If I go over here, this is selected media. If I go over here, this is Firebase Firestore. And let me show you the difference. So if I write right now Firestore, I hope you remember what it was before. Before here, at the beginning, it was showing ABC, and ABC means that it's only showing the name. It's only completing the names, like literal names that they see in the code see, or the analyzer see in your code. But right now it's not completing the name, it's actually completing the class, which is you can see from over here that this is another icon. So this is completing the class, and now here it's saying what is the name of the class, and the name of the class is Firebase Firestore. And if I click enter right now, and if I click dot, you can actually see all the methods that I can actually use with this Firestore. which are a lot. And then, and this is how you can actually use your code and how you're supposed to use your code. I hope you learned something from today. And please, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much and have a great day.